All right, so there is John Kirby, Admiral John Kirby, the White House National Security Agency Strategic Communications Director, talking to reporters, taking questions on one of the main issues today, which is the cancellation by the Israeli government of a delegation of high Israeli officials specifically requested by President Biden to come and talk about the upcoming Israeli operation against Rafah, that city in southern Gaza, where Israel says Hamas leadership is hiding, where more than 1 million Palestinians were told to flee for refuge. President Biden wanting to get clarity on what Israel's plans are to take care of those people, not getting it. That cancellation by the Israelis, the U.S. described as perplexing, and to Israeli allegations that the United States has now shifted its policy in calling for a ceasefire and abstaining from a ceasefire resolution at the UN. Kirby said there's been no change in policy, but clearly things are not good between these two allies. Let's bring in our ABC's Britt Clennett in Tel Aviv on this. And Britt, first on this cancellation of a delegation of high Israeli officials to talk about how Israel is going to go forward in Gaza, given the desperate humanitarian situation. I mean, it's a slap in the face of President Biden. He personally requested it.
Absolutely. It is quite the turnaround, Terry. You can say that this is a little bit of a divergence. It's moments like this that you do see that the tensions are bubbling under the surface, and this is a very public signal of that. It's also about the domestic audience here for Netanyahu. This is about standing up against the U.S. pressure. We have seen that mounting pressure. Blinken's visit just last week. All of this has been pointing towards this idea that the U.S. wants Israel to take a step back and really consider its offensive in Gaza, the bombardment of Gaza, the malnutrition, the imminent famine that the UN has been saying is going to happen at any point, Terry. This is the kind of thing that the US is saying that it wants Israel to take the pedal, to take its foot off the pedal a bit, especially when it comes to plans to go into to Rafah and start a land invasion there. So this, again, we're seeing the kind of cracks showing very much on the surface here. The White House insisting it's not a policy shift, but certainly it does signal a divergence with Israel. You know, it's a change of position. The U.S. refrained from vetoing this measure, which also calls for the release of hostages. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, he's called it a clear retreat from the previous U.S. position, Terry.
And Britt, you're talking about how Prime Minister Netanyahu is responding and representing, and clarify me if I'm wrong, the feelings of the Israeli populace. And on the other side, President Biden, looking at a re-election, you know, has a mutiny in his own party. Smallish, but very significant given how close this election going to be. People in the Democratic Party, on the left of the Democratic Party, who are very much opposed to what is not just happening in Gaza, but the way the United States policy is working out of it. So this is in part domestic politics in both countries, would you say?
Yeah, this is absolutely about domestic policy too, and you can see here every weekend, Terry, the anger really boiling over towards Netanyahu. By and large, you could say that Israelis might support action against Hamas based on the anger after October 7th, but really when it comes to Netanyahu, opinions do diverge. People are angry, and those protests that we see every weekend, they are growing. People saying that Netanyahu has taken it too far, that there has to be some kind of change, that he's avoiding some legal battles that he's facing, and that this is his personal mission, you might say. So certainly, yes, this has a lot of domestic play here, Terry.
All right, Britt Clennett there in Tel Aviv. Thanks very much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.